Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Memphis, Tennessee, where for the first time ever, the SFL circus comes to the Volunteer State. Tonight, we have a much-anticipated matchup to close out Week 1 of SFLm between the Tacoma Grizzlies and the Memphis River Runners. I'm Jack Brown, and alongside me here tonight, we have Ramos Lynn. Ramos, new teams, new coaches, but we still have some familiar faces to the SFLm gridiron out there tonight.
Yeah, and the stars of right now will be the stars of the SFL Major League one day, Jack, and it's going to be very interesting to see which one steps to the plate because every owner in the SFL is watching, and if you make a big play, you have a chance of going in the first round in the SFL Major League.
That is a true fact. These two teams, and also for new coaches as well, both of these two teams their coaches coming from illustrious coaching trees. For Memphis, basically everyone but a scout comes from Jacksonville. And for Tacoma, their head coach is Jalen Wells, fullback for the Sioux Falls Sparrows. Of course, they're one of the most historic franchises in the SFL. Going to be a very exciting matchup between these two new squads.
Yeah, and again, it's going to be very interesting to see because also coaches that are right now in the SFLm, could end up being coaches in the SFL Major League one day, and obviously they want to do well in Week 1, 2 new expansion teams. Very interesting to see how this pans out.
So my Ramos, as the kick is underway for these two new SFLm teams. The kickoff is taken up to the 27-yard line. Memphis is going to start the game with the ball first. So now it is first down and 10 for the River Runners. Quarterback is A.J. Bruin. Halfback is Blair Jones. Wide receivers are C.J. Arthur, Michael Hammer. Tight end is Jason France. O.J. Bruin starts the game under center. First and 10 ball on the 27. Bruin gonna hand it off to Blair Jones, who gets swallowed up in the backfield for a loss of 3 there. Tackle made by number 98 of Tacoma.
Great play, great defensive play there by Tacoma, just clogging up every lane on the far sideline, and Memphis is now in a 2nd and 12. Let's see if they dare to throw here on 2nd down.
Could be getting aggressive. Gonna be an offset eye. 2 receivers to the top of your screen. Bruin gonna hand it off to Jones once again, and Jones loses yet another yard on that run. Gonna bring up 3rd and well from about here to Tacoma.
Yeah, back-to-back, very impressive plays by this run defense of Tacoma, and in 3rd and 13, it's a big test here for the rookie quarterback, young quarterback.
3rd down and very long. O.J. Bruin gonna drop back for his first pass attempt. Goes over the top. It gets tipped and it's gonna fall to the ground. Pass intended for number 82.
Yeah, that had a big chance of being a first down and probably even a touchdown because the defender just played the ball completely. So if the receiver catches the ball, that's probably 6 on the board. But very impressive defense here by the road team.
Couldn't agree with you more, Ramos, as now Memphis has to send out their punting unit, Jack Keener, out to punt the ball away to Tacoma. Kick is away, and it's going to be a high one, going to be a decently distanced one, fair caught at around the 42-yard line. Tacoma coming in, they have one of the most notable quarterbacks in the SFLm, JQ, coming back for his 2nd season within the minor leagues.
Yeah, and I think that experience could really help him on getting the first W for his team this season. But either way, I think they should run the ball. They go 2 tight ends here. Let's see if they run it. And a better defense here for Memphis.
Gonna be very interesting. JQ drops back. JQ finds his man on the flats, and he's gonna take it up for about a 7 or 8 yard gain. That's gonna bring up 2nd down now for Tacoma.
And the very first positive play that we see in this game for Memphis offense, it was a couple of tackles for loss and then an incomplete pass, but Tacoma already at midfield.
2nd down and 2 now for the Grizzlies. Ball right at midfield with a heavy set. Q gonna hand it off to Brad Jones. Jones is gonna take it to the outside, and he's gonna get the first down.
Yeah, good first down here. Good job by the offensive line and opening up the hole and allowing the running back to get good positive yardage.
And that's really all you need in the SFLm. JQ now, it's going to be 1st and 10. Going to be an offset I once more. Q, going to hand it off to Jones once again. Jones finds a bit of a hole, and he's going to gain a few yards off that run. Tackle made by number 24.
Yep, and again, it's a good drive here for Tacoma, just running the ball. Good job by the offensive line, and a little bit surprised to see better defense here out of Memphis, straight up. But now they go in a 4-3, expecting probably another run. There's about 8 players in the box.
And you are right there, Ramos, as Brad Jones is going to get into some open field. He's going to take it up to the 35-yard line. 1st down, Tacoma Grizzlies.
Again, the offensive line is really impressing me so far, and as the fullback goes and also picks up a linebacker, but there are a lot of blocks on the third line of defense here, as Tacoma is already close to field goal range. Here in the SFLm, no star kickers, but, getting about a 32, 33-yard line is field goal range.
Q gonna roll out. Q! That one's tipped around. Who's gonna get it? It's gonna be no one. That went between probably around 5 or 6 hands. They're gonna probably give the tip there, though, to Bernard Smith IV.
Very strange play right there as the quarterback rolled to the right and threw a pass on his back foot. Not the best of throws. And very luckily got down for an incompletion.
Pass was intended for the tight end, Siggy Chronic. Meanwhile, JQ, once again, going to go under center, 2nd down and 10. Going to hand it off to Brad Jones, who sheds a tackler, nearly gets by 3 of them, and he was nearly into open field.
In the 3rd and 8, very important here for the Memphis defense making a stop, because again, for a non-star kicker, it will be a little bit hard out of 50 yards. Going 5 wide receivers, look for the underneath pass, actually, and try to get yards after the catch for a 1st down.
Q takes the shotgun snap. Q, plenty of time. Q finds his man towards the side, and that's going to be a big 1st down for Tacoma. Catch made.
Sorry to cut you off, Jack, but great job doing the pump fake. As you can see on the replay, he tried to go first underneath, but that moved the safety quite enough to get the deep pass for a 1st down. And Tacoma, again, on both sides of the football, defense and offense, looking very impressive so far.
Catch made there by Martin Fallworth. As Tacoma now comes out 1st down and 10 in the heavy set on the Memphis 13. Going to hand it off to Jones once again. Jones tried to get to the outside, but he's not going to get anything. Tackle made by Bleeker.
Yeah, no, not at all. And 2nd down and 10, this Tacoma offense very balanced with a lot of runs to set up shorter 2nd and 3rd downs, but a good job by the defense of Memphis making a stop at the line of scrimmage.
You gonna hand it off to Jones once again. Jones finds some room to run. He's gonna gain about 5 yards on that one. 3rd and 6.
Good patience by the running back finding the open hole. He was a little bit slow. I mean, it's been a long drive here for the Tacoma team, so I think that the running back was a little bit tired. If I'm Tacoma, I'm throwing the ball short, not forcing anything, because if this is intercepted, it will be a huge blow to their 1st quarter.
As Tacoma fires for the end zone. Touchdown Grizzlies. Catch made there by number 82. JQ gets his 1st touchdown in a Grizzly uniform.
That's a great throw right there and a great recognition. He had a player going underneath in a drag route in a shallow cross, but instead goes to the end zone, finding the open man in the zone. Big touchdown, and again, this road team of Tacoma looking very impressive so far here in the 1st quarter.
Point attempt now out on the field. Lance Barber kick is up, and it's going to be good. Tacoma coming out strong after stopping Memphis on their opening drive. And they take the lead 7-0 here on YouTube. Ball is now on the tee for Tacoma as they're getting ready to kick it right back to Memphis. Memphis feels it around the 8-yard line. They're going to take it up past the 30, and they're going to take it to around the 32-yard line. Once again, that was number 82 on the return there, Kent Harris.
You know, if I'm Memphis, Jack, I'm trying to string some plays together, not trying to, tie the game in one play. Try to get your quarterback on a rhythm. He only had one pass attempt in the previous drive that went incomplete for a deep throw, but he had to throw it deep because it was a 3rd and 13, so maybe just easier short throws here.
Gonna hand it off to Blair Jones, and Blair Jones gets 9 yards. They're gonna call it 2nd and inches. They're gonna say that they didn't quite make it there. Gonna bring up 2nd and inches now for Memphis.
Yeah, and I think he was a bit short, so a good call by the refs, I think. But a good 2nd and inches here, and they could do the same play. It worked very well. They had 2 tight ends on the far sideline, and they ran the ball up the middle with some good blocking by the offensive line.
Gonna hand it off once again to Blair Jones. Jones goes to the outside, gives them the little stutter step. He's gonna get the first down and a few yards more. Tackle made by R.D. Smith.
And you can argue that if he didn't do that stutter step and went to the outside, that could have been 10, 15 yards more. But either way, a good job by the running back here, Blair Jones, on stringing it to the outside. By the way, Brad Jones and Blair Jones are not related.
No, they are not. Blair Jones gonna get another handoff, and they're gonna say that Blair got back to the line of scrimmage and nothing more. Tackle made there for Tacoma by number 56. That is Kyle Simmons.
Yeah, good job again. These linebackers have done a decent job on this first quarter. The past couple of plays, Blair Jones was able to get it to the outside, get some yards, but overall they've been good.
Blair Jones going to get another handoff, and it's going to be for about a yard or two. 3rd and 8 now for the River Runners.
When a 3rd and 8, this is a situation where you do not want to be. You don't want to be in a situation where you have to throw the ball deep because that can result in interceptions.
And, well, looks to be that's what they're going to do. Empty backfield for O.J. Bruin, getting ready for his 2nd pass attempt of his career. Bruin dropping back. Bruin goes, he has a man! Sheds a tackler! Will he get the 2nd one? No, he won't! Gets tackled at the 5. Number 88, the tight end, Jason France, on the monster reception.
What an amazing play, and again, a very important one here to keep the drive alive and keep this scoring opportunities alive, as obviously they're down 7-0. They want to tie this ball game. Good job, and again, the drive keeps moving. I think that you can even run the ball here, try to settle down, and keep doing what you're doing here.
Bruin going to go under center in the heavy formation. Bruin hands off to Jones. Jones plows through for a touchdown. The first touchdown for the Memphis River Runners, and it's a simple run and score by Blair Jones. Or actually, no, apologies, that's the fullback.
Yeah, and good job again. Good job by the offensive line, and a big score here by the home team on an opportunity to tie in this game with an extra point.
Yeah, that was actually Wayne Hollard on the touchdown. I guess they just gassed out Blair Jones on that drive. They had to bring in the backup. But now out to attempt the extra point for the Grizzlies. It's for Memphis. It's Nate Collier. Should be a simple one. 3:09 remaining in the first. Kick is up. And it is through. We're all knotted up at 7 here on YouTube. Don't forget, folks, that you are watching the SFL Minor League. And, despite the fact that the 2nd season of the SFL Minor League is underway, it's not too late to build a player, get on a team, and start progressing in preparation for the next SFL Rookie Draft this December. Visit simulationfl.net to join our Discord server and get on the field. Contact Deputy Commissioner Andrew Wistelli on Discord after visiting the Get Started channel if you have further questions. We'll see you on the field soon. As Tacoma is going to take that up to the 27-yard line, and once again, JQ and company come back out for what should be another pretty interesting drive.
Yeah, and the first drive, he looked very impressive. Everybody in this Tacoma offense, to be fair, was very impressive. They ran the ball successfully, and JQ looked on point. So I'm expecting more of the same as they go in a bunch formation. Look for the deep throw here, Jack.
Q throwing it deep, and that's nearly intercepted. Oh, you don't want to test the deep ball against this River Runner defense. Bernard Smith the fourth, nearly with the massive interception.
Yeah, and I was calling the deep throw because the corners were playing underneath. They were playing very close to the line of scrimmage, and there was a lot of space on the outside. On the deep side of the field, and I cannot blame Q on this pass. It was one-on-one. He's trusting his wide receiver to go jump a 50-50 ball, and you have a 2nd down and 10.
Coming out in the heavy set. Gonna hand it off to Brad Jones, who gets swallowed up in the backfield. They're gonna say he got back to the line of scrimmage. What an astounding play on the outside by the Memphis defense.
Yeah, and Tacoma's offensive line, and actually was the fullback and the tight end who were supposed to get the blocks on the outside, could not get in, and the play was blown right before it even started.
3rd and 10 now. Q gonna drop back. Q fires over the middle, and that's another dropped interception. Oh, Memphis had 2 major opportunities to take the ball away from the Grizzlies, but alas, they were not able to make good on the opportunity.
Yeah, and that's Bernard Smith the second again, now with his 3rd pass defense of the early going, and Memphis will get the ball back, which is the important thing.
Snap is right where it needs to be. Kick is on its way. Going to be a high kick, and it's going to be fielded around the 45, and they're going to gain maybe a few more yards. Actually, it was taken at the 35. Made its way up to the 37. Once again, Kent Harris on the return for Memphis.
And start of the game looked very strong for Tacoma. They had a very good first stop, then they got a touchdown on their first possession, but it looks like Memphis has regained the momentum on this game. They have a good field position at the 37, and if I'm them, I'm establishing the run game.
And that they will do, handing off to Blair Jones, who's going to lose a yard. Tackle made there by the big boy, number 98 for Tacoma.
Yeah, and Tacoma has a defensive tackle number 70, Exodus O'Brien, who is going to be potentially a big part of the run-stopping game and also the pass rush of this Tacoma defense.
2nd down now, offset eye for the River Runners. Bruin going to do the short throw, and he's going to gain a few yards there. Catch made by Chris Lee, or actually Ziggy Chronic.
Yeah, and Chronic is one of the better tight ends looking here for the SFL minor league, actually, and I think he's going to be a big part of this offense, especially in this kind of situation, Jacks. You know, third and 4, 3rd and 5, those kind of situations. I think you have to throw the ball to your tight end.
Going to be a throw to the flats, and he finds his man. Going to take it up to the Tacoma 45. Catch made by Michael Hammer. Deepest apology.
Yeah, and actually on the previous play was actually Jason France, who already has 52 yards on 2 catches. So apologies for that. And this play, good first down here for the Memphis offense. They keep moving the ball and getting closer to that scoring position, to that field goal range, as they have completely shifted the momentum of this ball game so far.
Bruin gonna hand it off to Blair Jones, and Jones is gonna gain a few yards. So far, that was actually not a bad one at all. Blair Jones so far has 15 yards off 8 attempts.
Yeah, they're feeding him early. Actually, we already have 14 rushing attempts in this first quarter, 6 for Brad Jones and 8 for Blair Jones. 3 wide receivers set. Look for the out route here, Jack.
Bruin gonna hit that out route, and he's gonna take it up the field, and it's gonna be a first down and 10. Catch made by CJ Arthur, one of the other returning vets here in this SFL minor league.
Just a ton of space. Look at that. And actually, they came in with cat blitz right there as the corner. Kind of did a half-hearted attempt on a blitz. I'm not sure what he was doing, but either way, Arthur with a lot of space gets the first down.
Don't miss the SFL playoffs this fall, starting with Wildcard Weekend this Sunday, October 11th at 2:30 p.m. for a triple header on 11 Sports and for the fans. How can you watch the games live? Visit simulationfl.net and read the Where to Watch article, and see where you can find it on your smart TV with your cable or satellite provider, or download the For the Fans app on your Android or iPhone today, as Blair Jones got probably around 9 yards on that run. Another excellent run from Blair Jones to end off the first quarter. It's a rough and tough game here in the Volunteer State, all tied up at 7 between the Grizzlies and the River Runners. Don't go anywhere. More actions coming up from the SFL minor leagues here on YouTube. Welcome back, everybody. Memphis coming into the red zone, knocking on the door, taking the lead in this ball game. Bruin gonna hand it off to Blair Jones. Jones is not gonna gain anything on that run.
No, nothing doing right there. Good stop again by this Tacoma defense. And again, that's the same defensive lineman, Sandoval, making the stop for no gain. And Memphis, again, started a little bit rocky for them. It wasn't very successful their first possession. The second, first defensive possession, they allowed a touchdown. But they have settled down and they've been playing good football.
Yep, as Memphis, throwing a bit of a risky throw there over the middle. Deflection made by number 56, the inside linebacker, Simmons once more.
Yeah, Simmons has been very good in the rushing defense, but now going against the tight end, Jason France, and making a good play on the ball. Gets inside position, looks for the ball, and almost gets the interception. Not with a 3rd and 10. In the previous time, they were in a 3rd and long. They were able to connect deep for almost a touchdown. Let's see if they can do it again.
O.J. Bruin going with an empty backfield. In the shotgun. Bruin, no! He didn't even have a chance to throw that one, as Sandoval once again coming in to make the sack.
Yeah, and Sandoval has been absolutely unbelievable as, well, nobody blocked him. I mean, not even an attempt to blocking him. I'm not sure what the right tackle is doing right there, but lack of communication by the offensive line and a poor effort by them will put him on a 4th and very, very long. And, right hash for right-footed kicker here, Jack, at least, so he has a good shot to kick this field goal.
Yeah, it should be easy for Nate Collier. Maybe someone put a cheeseburger behind O.J. Bruin, so Sandoval had to go get it. Collier, the kick is up. And the kick is through for 3. Memphis takes the lead in this absolute barn burner of a game we're having so far, Ramos.
Yeah, very, very interesting game. Again, in the first quarter, Tacoma looked very good. Memphis was just trying to get their feet in. They were trying to see what it is here in the SFLm, but ever since they are in a 10-0 run, and the defense has looked very, very good, especially the safeties. Bernard Smith, again, he has 3 passes defensed, and Mike Ryan, even though he doesn't have a pass defense, already with a tackle, and Memphis' defense has looked good against the pass.
Meanwhile, Tacoma receiving the kickoff, and they're going to take it to around the 35-yard line. Not a bad return there from Tacoma's Mitchell Simpson.
Yeah, good return, and this is exactly what you want if you're the Grizzlies. Have a good field position so you can move the ball and get into scoring position here in the second quarter and tie the game potentially even more.
Q gonna go under center now. Ball on the 35. Q gonna drop back. Q gets a little dump route out to Brad Jones, and Brad's only gonna gain about a yard or two.
That was a 4-4 defense here, and they went with a blitz from the outside guy. So good job by the offensive line actually on giving enough protection for the dump off pass. Only went for 1 yard, but it's better than a sack for sure.
Split back now for Tacoma. JQ in the shotgun. 3 wide for him. JQ launches it deep over the middle, and he's got his man. Sheds the tackler. He's not going to shed two, though. Chris Lee with an impeccable reception.
Yeah, and I'm not sure what was that defense. We're going to take a look at the play. But it seemed like some blitzes from the safeties. The corners were not in very good position, or maybe it was actually the corners were on the blitz. Trying to come with a different look, trying to confuse the quarterback, but he did a great job getting it away and completing for a big first down.
Yeah, Mike Ryan there with a touchdown saving tackle, but we are still deep into Memphis territory for the Grizzlies. Gonna hand it off to Brad Jones now. Brad Jones loses 3 on that one. You know, trying to make up for what was a pretty bad mistake there from the defense is Knight.
Yeah, and that's their star defensive lineman, Max Knight, and he doesn't make that stop. That's probably a touchdown, as the offensive line, other than that, did a great job on blocking. But now it's a second and very, very long, and with 4 wide receivers, they may like to throw.
Hughes gonna roll out to the right side. He's gonna throw off his back foot into a swarm of river runners. The deflection was made there by number 27. That is Gary Crown.
Yeah, and they try to go again with a rollout. Now going to the other side, and I'm not sure if you're a right-handed quarterback, what are you doing, rolling to the left? But either way, it didn't work. Could have been worse. And a 3rd and long now.
You gonna take a decent drop back, throws it deep, and that is nearly intercepted. Pass intended once again for Chris Lee. Hey, he got him a big play earlier in the drive. JQ was thinking he'll get me another big play.
Yeah, and Mike Ryan making a big stop right there, as the safeties of Memphis have been on point all game long. 4th down, and it's a very long field goal, Jack. Right-footed kicker from the left hash this time, and it's a 46-yard attempt.
Yeah, this is not going to be an easy one for Lance Barber. Snaps a little bit low, but Lance Barber able to get the kickoff, and it's no good, just short.
Yeah, just a little bit short and a little bit wide right here for the Tacoma kicker, as we're going to take a look at this replay. Not the best of angles, but just a little bit short and a little bit wide, as Memphis is going to take over with good field position. And again, in the past couple of drives, they've been really good moving the ball with a combination of runs and passes.
OJ Bruin going under center, split backs for him. Bruin gonna find his man on the flat, and the receiver gaining up to about the 50-yard line. That is number 81, Michael Hammer, on the reception.
Good play, good recognition right there by the quarterback, OJ Bruin, on throwing the ball short outside. The corner bailed on that coverage for some reason, and the whole space was right there. Big first down, moving the chains close to midfield.
1st and 10 once again for the Grizzlies. Ball basically at midfield. Offset eye for OJ Bruin and company. Gonna hand it off to Blair Jones, and Blair Jones runs east and west instead of north and south, and he's gonna lose 3 yards.
This is something that the Tacoma defense needs, because what they're trying to do is regain possession of this momentum. So if they can come away with an interception here in 2nd and long with another sack, get the ball back, it's gonna go a long ways for them to come back in this game.
Bruin takes the snap from the shotgun, fires it deep, and he got it! Oh man, what a highlight reel catch made there by number 88, Jason France, the tight end.
Great protection given to the quarterback, throwing the ball and going one-handed as Jason France is outplaying the other tight end, Sigi Ronek, right now. 3 catches, 77 yards, by far the most prolific catcher of the football we have so far in this game.
Ball on the 29 now. Memphis going to run with a little bit of an audible. Going to hand it off to Blair Jones, and Blair Jones spins around, smash, gets to the sideline. Touchdown, River Runners.
Wow, what a run. What a job by the offensive line. Completely open space here on the far sideline. Jones makes a great spin move, then breaks a tackle in the end zone. So we take a look at the replay. Look at the blockers right there, Jack. I mean, there's a complete convoy of like 5 people blocking Tacoma Grizzlies. Big touchdown as Memphis is looking dominant here in the first half.
Just the perfect run. If I was Blair Jones, I'd put that as the first thing on my highlight reel.
Yeah, absolutely. And you have to think, you know, again, going back to what I was saying in the pregame, you know, SFL coaches looking at players that are standing out, and Blair Jones now with 12 runs and 55 yards in the score, looking very, very good indeed.
Nate Collier now up to attempt the extra point, and he's going to get it. A 10-point swing after the missed field goal by Tacoma, and now the River Runners are ahead 17-7.
Yeah, that's a good point. This game could have been tied about 2 minutes ago. Instead, it's 17-7, and Tacoma's trying to stop the bleeding. Last time out, they had a very good return, so let's see if they can have another one of those and put them in good field position.
Fielded at just shy of the 10-yard line, and Tacoma taking it up to the 30-yard line. Another pretty good kick return there by Mitchell Simpson.
Yeah, pretty good. And again, you know, 30-yard line is not a bad field position. Obviously, a touchback gives the ball to the 20, so starting at the 30 is not bad. Going 4 wide receivers, and they've tried either doing that rollout play, Jack, or trying to go short. So let's see.
AQ gonna go to the rollout, and he doesn't have any time to work with, and that's gonna bring up 2nd and long.
Oh yeah, completely destroyed right before it even started. They go in no huddle here.
JQ once again gonna drop back deep, nearly has his man, but that's not really gonna do much.
Oh man, I will huddle up and think about another play. This is not gonna get it done.
3rd down. He's going to once again drop back deep, nearly sacked, just throws it away. That almost could have been considered a fumble, but I guess they determined that the arm was, in fact, moving forward.
Yeah, it was, and Max Knight is having a night. No pun intended. Well, yes, pun intended right there, as he has 2 tackles, he has a sack, but that one is huge. That's not going to go to his stat sheet, but it's very important to put in a 4th down, and Memphis is going to get the ball back in very good field position.
It's exactly what you need more, really, for Memphis. Punts away now from Tacoma. Going to be fielded at around the 45-yard line. Going to take it up to the 48, and that's going to bring up 1st and 10, 5:52 remaining in the half. And ever since Tacoma's first drive, which ended in a touchdown, they've had 2 punts and a field goal miss.
Yeah, it's been pretty bad so far here for this defense, allowing also Memphis to go, the whole way for a couple touchdowns and field goal. They've been all unable to really stop them on 3rd down. They want that to change.
Well, that's not going to be the start of that change, as Memphis gains about 12 on that throw completion there to Sean Brule, the secondary tight end.
Very clever play right there as they go in the power. Ran the ball a couple of times, but this time having a pass to the seam to the fullback, and good catch for good yardage, and again getting closer to scoring position, Jack.
OJ Bruin gonna go under center once again. Gonna drop back to throw. An interesting play call out of that formation. And there's the reason why you don't really do that much around here in the SFL. Pass deflection made by Kyle Simmons.
Yeah, Simmons has been all over the field. It's basically been the bright spot of Tacoma Grizzlies defense all game long. He's been good stopping the run and has had a couple of passes deflection as well. But look at this man, number 88, Jason France. Let's see if they go with him. Been the big man here today.
Bruin gonna try and find his man over the middle. Tipped up, and they're not gonna do that much with it. Simmons once again on the pass deflection. You know, I wonder if he once lived a past life as a free safety.
Probably, but he's one of those players where he's not a star player here on this defense, but is playing like one, and that's exactly what you need. Those complementary pieces. Not only your Ricky Jordan or James Stroll, having those guys who can step up and make some big plays.
Be in the shotgun once again. They're basically going to try the same play again. It's another tip up. And once again, look who it is making the deflection for Tacoma, Kyle Simmons.
And I'm looking at the stat sheets right now. And again, thank you very much to everybody in the stats crew. In this case, Zach. But look at the stat sheet. We have 5 passes defense from Tacoma. 4 of them are by Kyle Simmons.
An absolute beast out there for Tacoma. As now Memphis is going to have to punt it away. And they're going to pin Tacoma deep. But how deep are they going to go? They got him at the 5-yard line. Ramos, not exactly the best situation for Memphis to be in. But hey, they got the most out of it.
No, not at all. And again, this is a situation where your defense has to make a big play. And if you can sack here and you have been able to get to the quarterback, I'm right now I'm talking about Memphis. If you can get a sack, you can force a safety for Tacoma. You get the ball back and you have a chance with 5 minutes to either run the ball, pass the ball, move the ball in your time, in your pace, and put some points before the half. You have a lot of time with 3 timeouts.
Gonna hand the ball off to Brad Jones. He's gonna run to the outside, gains a yard. When you're backed up this far, you really don't have much of a choice but just to hand the ball off and hope that you can get some decent yardage out of it.
Yeah, just try to get out of the shadow of your own goalposts and, go from there. 2nd down and 9. If you run the ball, I would not be surprised if they run the ball again. Power formation, maybe a run to the outside, to the far sideline here.
Hand it off once again to Brad Jones. Tried to stretch the field, but he wasn't quite able to get it done.
Yeah, this defense of the Grizzlies doing great job. Of Memphis doing great job on the outside, not allowing the running back to bounce it off to the outside and get some open space. 3rd down and long, and this is the same formation, Jack.
Well, they're going to try and run it right up the middle, and number 93 for the Grizzlies, Trevor Flemings, says, nuh-uh, you are not even getting back to the blue line.
No, I was going to say, this is the same formation that they got stuck in the previous drive, where they, went 3 and out, but they have to give the ball back, and Memphis will have very good field position.
Punt is away, and that punt didn't even reach the 35-yard line. Memphis getting the ball at the 33. Very dangerous position as we are nearing the 2-minute warning. 3:39 remaining in the first half.
Memphis needs to capitalize out of this, because this is the time where when you have the possession, when you have the momentum of the game, you want to score as much as you possibly can, get away as much as you possibly can, because Tacoma will have their shot maybe in the second half, so you want to score as much points as you can have. Ooh.
Oh, that's not how you start scoring points. Matthew Sandoval getting his 2nd sack of the day on OJ Bruin, and once again pinning Memphis in a situation they don't want to be in.
I'm telling you, Sandoval and Simmons have been absolutely unbelievable today, and maybe they would like to have a little bit of a contract in the SFL Major League, even though they're not real players, real people. They're playing sensationally well.
Absolutely. His Simmons gets the tackle on Blair Jones, bringing him up again. It's almost like we summoned him on that play.
Yeah, he's been great. And with a 3rd and 13, Jack, what I will do is probably throw the ball short underneath and get it to a closer field goal. Third and very long. There's not many plays in the playbook that can get you 13 yards.
At least not reliably, as Bruin's going to drop back to throw. Bruin goes over the middle, and he gets his man. Well, Ramos, you said that there were not a lot of plays in the playbook to do that, but C.J. Arthur, the veteran, coming back to show his new experience in the minor league.
Yeah, that's a brilliant throw right there, exactly where C.J. Arthur can make the catch. And if you're that's unacceptable on defense. You know, it's a very long situation on 3rd down. You have to cover deep, and there was nobody there to cover number 14.
Gonna hand it off to Blair Jones once again. Gains about a yard or two. Gonna take it up to the 13-yard line. And once again, Sandoval on the tackle.
Yeah, 2nd and 9. And Memphis does not have to snap the ball before the 2-minute warning here. So it's gonna be 2-minute warning.
Don't go anywhere, folks. We still got one heck of a ball game on our hands here. Memphis is up on the Tacoma Grizzlies, 17-7. But Memphis is knocking on the door to score more points on the Tacoma 13-yard line. O.J. Bruin going under center. Bruin gonna go over the middle, finds his man, and are they gonna give him the first down? Yes, they are. Catch made there by number 82, Harris. Ken Harris, their return man.
Yeah, and a good play. It's a simple slant route, trying to get yards after the catch for a 1st and goal, maybe even the touchdown. It's a good play, and they may be trying to do the same here, Jack.
1st and goal now. Going to be 3 wide, 1 in the backfield. Going to hand it off to Blair Jones. And Jones maybe gains a yard or two. The territory is what matters here, as number 51 for Tacoma is going to make that tackle. That is Brian Brand.
If I'm Memphis, I'm not hurrying up. I'm taking my time. I'm trying to score with as little as time as I can give the Tacoma Grizzlies.
Well, they did not use up much of the clock there. Blair Jones rushes in for his 2nd touchdown on the day.
Yeah, good recognition right there by the Memphis offense. They had a power formation. Tacoma going with a simple 4-3 defense, and they knew they had the people to move the pile and get an easy score. As man, the home team is looking very good tonight.
Putting on a show for their fans in our first trip to the Volunteer State in the SFL or SFL minor leagues. Collier out to attempt the extra point now. Kick is away, and the kick is good. That's going to make it 24-7. And once again, after Tacoma got off to a pretty good start, it's been the Memphis River Runners show all night long.
Yeah, it really has. And, you know, it looked at the beginning of the game that Tacoma had control. They looked very poised. They looked very good. But ever since Memphis settled down and was able to get their first touchdown, it's been their game. And the second half could prove to be a bit different. But, I mean, Memphis is one of the most impressive teams I've seen today in the SFLm, I have to say.
Another candidate for that, actually, Ramos, is in the other game going on right now. Albuquerque, according to the most recent score update, up 27-3 on the defending champion, Madison Lynx.
Yeah, Madison, a very good team last year. They're struggling here in week 1. I will not doubt that if they, come back either this game or in week 2, but a good job by the Adams on winning this game so far.
Catch made there by Jay Moss, one of the several returning players in the SFL minor leagues this year. He played last year for Lincoln, if I'm not mistaken, and he was able to get over 500 yards on 85 receptions.
Yep, and I'm surprised that, they're going 3 wide receivers here, but they're keeping things underneath. I will take a deep shot here if I'm Tacoma.
AQ gonna roll out once again. Very interesting play call. And the receiver, Brad Jones, he was doing some spinning of his own. It was a whole stage show right there.
Yeah, it was, and they have to throw the ball deep here. They need an explosive play, try to get in the end zone.
Well, they're gonna dump it off to Brad Jones, but Brad Jones, he gets the explosiveness done with his feet, gaining it up to about midfield.
Good play, finding the open space, allowing the running back to get big yards after the catch, and most importantly, getting out of bounds to stop the clock. As Tacoma getting close to midfield for the first time in quite some time.
Bernard Smith, the fourth on the tackle to stop the bleeding there. Q under center. Q gonna hand it off to Brad Jones once again. Brad Jones, he's got room to run to the outside, down the sideline. He's got one man to beat, and he's gone. Touchdown, Tacoma Grizzlies.
Wow, what a play. What a call by Tacoma on giving the ball again to the running back who just had a big play and getting in the end zone. This could be one of the best plays in the game overall. Look at the blockings right there. Great blocking. Oh, man, the tight end absolutely pancaking one defender, and from there it's gone. What a big play. And this is the play again, Jack, where Tacoma is going to look back at the end of it, and if they happen to win this game, this touchdown was a huge part of it.
Lance Barber now out to attempt the extra point to bring the score down to 10. Snap is good, kick is up, and it is through for an additional point. Don't go anywhere, folks. This is still a ball game. Sector 6 is the official apparel provider of the Simulation Football League, and replica jerseys are out now. Get your name on the back of your team's or your fan favorite team's jersey and visit team stores and libraries for purchase options through sector6apparel.com or through our website at simulationfl.net. Just hit the shop button. Memphis getting the ball out to the 29-yard line. And if I were the River Runners right now, I would just hand the ball off to Blair Jones and take it into the locker room.
Yeah, me too. You have to be content with what has happened here in the first half. You're winning the game by double digits. And, I agree. You have to just run the ball and go to the half. You're going to get the ball to start of the second half either way.
Bruin going to go for a relatively aggressive play there. Pass intended for Michael Hammer, one of the top value wide receivers in this class.
Yeah, and a very aggressive play, actually. If that's intercepted, you're putting Tacoma back with scoring position. So, it's surprising that they're trying to go. I mean, obviously you want to play to win, but you also want to play smart. And I think that going to the halftime with a 10-point lead is the way to go.
Second down now. Let's see what O.J. Bruin comes up with. And he's going to hand it off simply to Blair Jones. Blair Jones, the little stat padding run, and they're running the hurry-up offense. They're going to try and maybe get an additional play here. And they're going to actually get it off. Going to hand it off to Blair Jones once more. Blair Jones just had the safety to beat, and he would have been gone.
That was very close. That exactly one tackle away from going all the way for 6. We're going to take a look at the replay. The offensive line does a great job. It's a trap play. Getting in the open space, breaking a tackle, and the safety makes the big-time stop. It's actually, the safety, strong safety, Blake Prine.
Blake Prine getting his pay grade there. But at the end of the half, the Memphis River Runners are up on the Tacoma Grizzlies 24-14. After the Grizzlies jumped out to a 7-0 lead, Memphis went 24 unanswered, but Tacoma brought it right back to within 2 possessions.
Yeah, and if you take a look at the overall stats, other than passing yards, it's very balanced. I mean, rushing yards 72 to 80, time of possession is only 3 minutes away, and red zone percentage 100%. Overall in the stats, looking again very similar. JQ is 8 out of 15, and Bruin is 9 out of 15. Brad Jones has 11 rushing attempts. Blair Jones has 18 rushing attempts, but their rushing yards 71 to 81 respectively, each with at least 1 score. So overall looking very balanced, but it's been a couple of big plays, including that missed field goal for Tacoma, which Memphis then turned into a touchdown that has this game at 10 points, because as you said, that was a 10-point swing.
Yeah, these two teams, though, although the scoreboard may be a 2-possession game, it feels like it's a 2-point game out here right now. Again, Memphis, they've had some really big plays. The highlight reel is just showing right now Blair Jones sprinting for the end zone. And, well, Tacoma's gotten their big run of their own as well. Still, I would say this is anyone's ball game.
Yeah, for sure. Because, again, it looks very overall. It's been just a couple of very key plays that have made the difference. But if Tacoma can make can put a good drive together and get away with some points, even if it's just 3, they will be right back in it in a 1-possession game. So I agree, it's anybody's game. The running backs have looked good. The safeties of both teams have looked really good. So, even though it's a 10-point game, anybody can win it.
Well, the teams are just coming out of the locker rooms, getting re-warmed up. The second half is about to be underway. Tacoma to receive the second half kickoff. Again, putting them in really good position. Momentum is most likely on their side now. If they can get a score here, again, the game is completely up in the air. Kick is away. Going to be fielded at around the 10. Going to be taken up past the 30 and probably up to the 32. Return made there by number 82, Mitchell Simpson.
First down and 10 here for Tacoma. And what do you do? Do you keep doing the same game plan that worked to start the first half? Do you change it up? I think that if you establish the run game with the guy who has been giving you the best yardage, that's Brad Jones, you go with him.
It's going to be a simple handoff now to Brad Jones, and Jones is going to gain 2 yards on the run. Jones so far has 6.1 yards per carry. Obviously, he had that massive 53-yard run towards the end of the first half that's really made this game competitive.
Yeah, for sure. And again, if he can have one of those explosive plays, watch out. Look at this defense. This Bear defense against 4 receivers, Jack. It could be a little bit suspect against a deep pass.
Q is going to drop back. Q finds a man on the flat route. Not even going to get the first down. A little bit of a questionable play throw choice there, as the catch was made by number 88, Chris Lee.
It's a good thing that he keeps the third down short, and a big tackle, great tackle right there to keep him just shy of the first. 3rd and 2 here for Tacoma. I will do a little bit of the same thing. Ziggy Gronick has been shut out so far. I mean, only 1 target, no catches. I think it's a good time to go to your tight end.
And it's going to be a play-action rollout. Pocket completely empty. Finds his man. That is Jay Moss on the reception. A very elaborate play, but it gets the job done.
Yeah, I mean, this is one of those plays that you do not see a lot in the SFL. But Tacoma working it to perfection. Good job by the offensive line and blocking, and the receiver was open for a first down in the bootleg pass.
1st and 10, ball near midfield. Going to hand it off to Brad Jones once again. Brad Jones going to cross the midfield stripe. Ball on the 49 now.
getting past the midfield as Tacoma in the past couple of drives have looked very, very good. A little bit of what we saw to start the game as they go again in a 2 tight end set, and Memphis goes again in a bear defense.
You're gonna hand it off to Jones, but Jones gets nothing and loses. I think that's 3 yards on the run. Tackle made by Max Knight.
Completely unblocked, getting a tackle for a loss. Play here for the Memphis defense. 3rd and 9 for Tacoma. On 3rd downs, Tacoma 4 out of 8, so that's 50% of the time. This one is a 3rd and longer. Let's see if Memphis can cover the deep pass here, Jack.
Under center is JQ with an empty backfield. Q gonna throw to the flat, and that's gonna fall incomplete. Pass intended for number 15, Damon James.
Yeah, nothing was open deep. He had to check it down, and fortunately for this offense of Tacoma was dropped by the receiver, and they will have to punt. Good job by the Memphis defense.
Landers back deep to punt it away. And it's going to be a decent punt. Going to be a little bit high. Going to be taken at around the 15. And it's going to be taken up to the 22-yard line where Memphis will set up shop for the first time in the second half.
Memphis, O.J. Bruin, 9 out of 15 in the for 158 yards. That's a quarterback rating of almost 100. To be exact, that's 96.0 quarterback rating. Looking very, very efficient. And Blair Jones, again, closing in to 100 yards in the game.
And they're going to hand it off to the bell cow of the offense. But Blair's going to lose a yard on that one. Sandoval coming in to make the tackle for loss.
Yeah, Sandoval has been great all game long, stopping the run, rushing the passer, already had 2 sacks. And Memphis now going in the power formation. I think they will run the ball here to the near sideline and an outside run. Yeah.
Oh. And actually, they're going to drop back to throw as O.J. Bruin finds his man over the middle, and that's going to be a first down. Catch was made by Michael Hammer.
Yeah, great throw right there by Bruin. Actually, a very good, set of routes. In the in route, the receiver Michael Hammer had a catch. Now with his 3rd catch of the day, 39 yards so far.
Bruin going under center now. Bruin going to hand it off to Blair Jones once again, who's going to get right back to the line of scrimmage and not going to get much more beyond that.
Good stop, bringing up a 2nd and 10. O.J. Bruin, 10 out of 16 again, 171 yards right now. He's been very efficient ever since the 2nd quarter. I'm not sure if many passes had even hit the ground.
Once again, they're going to hand it off to Blair Jones, and Blair Jones is going to lose a few. Simmons on that tackle with the previous tackle going to Ricky Jordan. The linebacking crew of Tacoma getting a decent workout this drive.
Yeah, they really are, and it's a 3rd and 12. Tacoma's defense has to make sure nobody gets behind them, and if the pass is deep, they can come away with an interception or at least a pass deflection.
A deep drop back by O.J. Bruin! And Bruin, so lucky. That one basically rolled off the back of the defender there. Pass intended for Jason France.
Yeah, that was very close. That should have been intercepted and gone the other way. Maybe even to scoring position for Tacoma, but at least they forced the punt. Memphis will be forced to kick it away, and the Grizzlies keep this game in a 10-point game. Sorry.
Keeping it close, and that's all you really need. Jack Keener punts it away, and it's going to be taken at about the 35-yard line. They're going to take it up to the 37. 1st and 10, JQ probably feels a little bit of the pressure as we're about halfway through the 3rd. He's on a new team, probably under a new offense. Things gotta be intense for him.
Yeah, they have, and Tacoma's offense looking so far very good in this game. Leadership. The running game has looked very good. Passing game has looked very solid, and the offensive line has done a great job on blocking downfield.
And they're going to hand it off to Brad Jones, who gets it up to the Memphis 46. Excellent run there by Brad Jones.
Yeah, very good. And again, he's staying very patient, as you can see on the replay. He's standing right behind the fullback and his tight end. The tight end right there, he gets a block. But a good job on, exploring that hole at the precise time.
First down now, ball a little bit past midfield. Q running under center. Q trying to find someone, goes over the middle, and he's going to gain about 4 yards on the play. Tackle made there by Memphis Maverick Hughes.
Good job by Q, and it's one that it will not go to the highlight reel, but a good job on throwing the ball to the open man. There were not a lot of players open in that play, so you have to throw it to whoever can make the catch, and a good gain of 4 yards, setting up a shorter second down.
Won't end up on the highlight reel, but it'll have scouts salivating as Brad Jones spins his way back to the line of scrimmage, and that's going to bring up 3rd and 6 for Tacoma. Tackle made by Vaughn.
Very good job on the defensive line and staying patient and making the tackle, just covering their lanes, not allowing their running back to get inside for a big gain. Look at this defense, Jack. It's very puzzling right here. The receivers here are wide open on the outside.
Well, they had the receiver on the one-on-one, and they were able to get the ball to the 32-yard line of Memphis. Not exactly what you wanted if you were the River Runners. As the fullback, Rothschild gets the reception.
Yeah, and again, the corners in a very strange position. They're trying to come up with some exotic plays on defense, but Tacoma's offense is ready for it.
Ball's now on the 32. Tacoma has got the keys and they're driving. Q, going to be a short drop. Finds his man on the flats, and he's going to gain 4 yards. Jay Moss once again on the reception. Ramos, another one of those plays where it may not end up on the highlight reel, but on the scout film, the scouts will be salivating at that one.
Yes. You have to be, you have to play a smart football. Obviously, you want to get the big play all the time and throw the ball deep for a touchdown, but it's one of those, short plays that really have the scouts surprised, because this is the SFL. Be able to control the ball, be able to make it a shorter 2nd and 3rd down, and that's what the pros do.
And speaking of the pros, an extremely pro-like play there from Charles Waterhouse, just swallowing up Brad Jones in the backfield, and that's going to bring up 3rd and long.
4 wide receivers. Let's see if they do another rollout pass here, Jack.
That might be what they come up with. No, that's going to be a straight drop. Gonna try and throw it kind of in the flat area, but it seemed to land in between 2 receivers.
Yeah, like a communication right there. The wide receiver was not there on time, and a very long field goal upcoming. This is going to be about a 48-yard field goal attempt, as the kicker for Tacoma, Barber, is 0 out of 1 so far.
Yeah. If he can make this, though, it'll really put some confidence back into not only him, but the team as well. Snap is very high, and the kick is on its way. And it's going to be good for 47 yards. Lance Barber making up for that miss earlier in the game with an excellent 47-yard field goal.
Yeah, great field goal, just enough leg. Good accuracy on that one, just enough leg to get it past the crossbar. That's 3 points, and Tacoma, again, they're just back 1 score. So if they can get a big play on defense, if they can finally get an interception or force a fumble, they will be right there to tie this game.
Kick it away now. Tacoma down by 7, but Memphis is going to take their turn. as they're going to return the kick up to the 28-yard line. Once again, Kent Harris on the return. Been doing pretty well for himself so far.
Yeah, good return so far, getting the ball past the 25-yard line, which is always good, and putting Memphis in good position to, move the ball and get some points on every drive. Another power formation.
Yeah, and realistically, that's all you can really ask for. Split backs for O.J. Bruin. Bruin going to be taking a short drop, short pass, and they're going to gain about 7 yards on that one. Throw made to C.J. Arthur.
Yep, good throw here, getting short yardage, getting about 7 yards play, second down and 3. Again, the running back here for Memphis, Blair Jones, has 72 yards and 2 touchdowns, so he's been very good running the ball so far.
Off to Blair Jones. Blair Jones finds the hole, and he's going to get the first down. Nice job.
Good job picking up his opening space, getting the first down. And, this is what Memphis needs. They need a solid the clock, get the defense some rest, and hopefully for them, come away with some points. Look for another run here up the middle.
1st and 10. Going to hand it off to Blair Jones, going right up the middle. Blair Jones gaining a yard on the play, but honestly, that's about what you need. Just a simple play to keep the offense on schedule.
Yeah, no, definitely. That's exactly what you need. Just have control of the ball, have control of the clock, move the ball at your pace, and not forcing anything. Do not give Tacoma extra chances to score on you.
Bruin going under center now. Bruin going to take a deep drop back. Bruin nearly gets sacked, was just barely able to get it away, and Sandoval almost had his 3rd sack tonight, Ramos.
Yeah, unbelievable, but that's another hit, and the second time that even though he has not been able to get the actual sack, has been able to hit the quarterback, and it's a big 3rd and 9, and this is exactly what can kill a drive for an offense.
Not only kill the drive, but possibly even kill all your momentum, as Memphis dropping back. Bruin going over the middle, and oh no, he stepped forward. Oh, nearly had what could have been the first down there, but unfortunately for them, number 86 not able to convert. That was Victor Harrington.
Good job by the Tacoma defense making a stop. They're going to get the ball back with a chance of tying this game. But you really cannot blame Bruin. That's basically the guy that was open, and he's trusting his man to get a first down. The Grizzlies defense, though, good job on not allowing many yards after the catch.
Yeah, the main sin, of course, there was that kind of spin forward turn, and I think, yes, Tacoma able to narrowly avoid disaster. Oh, wait, hold on.
Yeah, Tacoma.
Yes, it was actually Tacoma who got that. Sorry, I thought I saw Memphis celebrating there for a second.
No, yeah, Tacoma was able to recover it, and they will be able to move the ball, but not good field position, though. I mean, they're behind the 20-yard line. This formation for the first time, maybe a short pass here to settle down.
A very low snap for JQ. Going to roll out off his back foot. Able to get 4 yards on an extremely risky throw to Jay Moss.
Yeah, this is one of those where the coaches, even though it worked, is just like, why? Like, what are you thinking? Throwing the ball just across the whole field. That had pick 6 written all over it. I mean, if you do that in the SFL Major League, that's pick 6.
But now it's 2nd and 6. Less than a minute to go in the 3rd. Handing it off to Brad Jones, who gets some room. And he's going to take it up to the 28-yard line, 3rd and inches.
Good job by the offense. Good job by the offensive line. And I'm just giving the ball right back to Brad Jones to pick up a first down here. They go in a power formation, 4-4 defense here for Memphis.
Should be simple. Gonna hand it off to Brad Jones. Brad Jones got the first down and a few yards more. Only had really the safeties to beat, and he would have been gone for 6.
Yeah, definitely. And this is the second time. The previous time was actually to end the first half. He was also about one tackle away from going all the way for 6 points. But a good job again by the offensive line, making space for the running back who gets a first down, and Tacoma keeps moving the ball. Again, this drive started at the 19-yard line and now moving the ball past the 30.
And that play right there will bring us to the end of the third quarter. Get your fours up, folks. We got ourselves a ball game here. Memphis was leading 24-7, but Tacoma is storming back, and on this drive could tie things right up. Going to be a low snap now for JQ. Gains about 2 yards on the throw.
Good catch on the sideline, making it a positive play at least. As that was Chris Lee with his second grab of the day.
Bring up 2nd and 8 now. Split backs for Tacoma. Q going to be in the shotgun, takes the snap, throws it over the middle. You know, a very mature play right there. Didn't find anyone deep, so just a simple dump over the middle is really all you need. Catch made by Mitchell Simpson.
Yeah, and a 3rd and 5, he has another down to get a handful of yards. Let's see if they go in a similar formation. It's going to be 4 wide receivers this time. He just needs 5 yards, so he doesn't need to actually throw the ball deep. Maybe an out route here, Jack.
You're going to go for the deep drop, and yes, he's going to go for the out route, but they're not going to give Tacoma the first down.
Oh, that's on the receiver. He has to for the first down. He knows it, and the coach knows it. But oh, that's a rough spot. I don't know if that's worth a challenge, but I think he was a little bit short, and they're not going to challenge this one. They may go for this though. No,
they're going to send out the punt unit. Chris Lee on the reception. Has to be absolute heartbreak for the Grizzlies. They almost probably had the River Runners cornered. Keener with the deep kick. And it's going to be taken to about the 24-yard line now. This is basically the make-or-break drive for Memphis. If they can get a score here, then they'll be in pretty dang good condition to win the game.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you. Memphis has to settle down. Memphis has to not make a mistake. Do not force anything. Again, do not get that giveaway right now. Just take care of the ball and move the ball methodically down the field.
Bruin gonna throw it over the middle, and that's exactly what they needed. Nothing flashy, just a simple dump to CJ Arthur over the middle, and hey, they get a few yards.
Yeah, unfortunately for them, obviously that could have been was a little bit higher, and Arthur was able to catch and then run after it. Probably could have been about 8 or 10 yards, but either way, it's a 2nd and 7. They can probably run the ball here even, or throw the ball again short.
Bruin dropping deep. They're going to go for the deep throw over the middle. He's got his man, and he is gone. Touchdown, Memphis River Runners. Jason France, the tight end, the big boy, getting the big play.
Yeah, what a play right there. And Jason France has been quiet ever since the second quarter, but not that time as he goes deep in a post route. And there was no defender. Look at that. It was basically Simmons in coverage deep. But even though he has been playing great, that's star tight end Jason France against a smaller linebacker. Great recognition right there by O.J. Bruin, who now has 260 yards passing, gets a touchdown, and Tacoma is in trouble.
Just an excellent play all around from Jason France, the 6'7", 280-pound tight end. Now with Nate Collier out here to attempt the extra point. Kick is up, and it is good for an extra one, 31-17. Memphis, things are getting a little bit tight there, but now they've able to give themselves a bit of a cushion heading into the last act of the game.
Yeah, I agree. And Tacoma needs to score in this possession, and they need to score a touchdown. I mean, not a field goal doesn't cut it. They need to put the ball in the end zone. And with 9 minutes, they do have a lot of time, but they need to get some forward progress right here.
And on the kick return itself, they get some decent yardage up to the 26. First and 10 now for JQ and company. It's going to be a very intense drive no matter how you slice it. So far, though, one interesting stat, there has not been a single turnover so far, as I probably have just jinxed it right there.
Yeah, but I mean, they have not thrown an interception right now. They've looked, good so far. I'm gonna let you hear.
It was just a simple handoff to Brad Jones, loss of a yard. You can continue on.
Yeah. Well, I mean, passer rating right now 92.5 here for JQ with a 65.4 completion percentage. Has a touchdown, no picks. And I mean, the receivers have been a little bit quiet. Jay Moss has 6 catches but only 26 yards. Chris Lee 4 catches for 50 yards. I think you have to throw the ball deep and give your receivers a chance.
Oh, but instead of throwing it deep, they take a very risky play. Pass deflected by Gary Crown, the free safety, playing relatively shallow.
Yeah, actually, I'm surprised about that throw. Obviously, when you have a second and long, you wanna get half of those yards first, and then you can have a manageable third down. But that play just hasn't worked. Memphis has been all over it all game long.
Third and long, and if you're JQ, you got to go for all or nothing. Going to be a little throw, and oh, if he was just a few yards away from that defender, Simpson would have been able to get the first down just with his feet.
Yeah, I agree, and I mean the coach is absolutely chewing him out on the sideline. I mean, you have to stay, upright and get that first down. Tacoma will have to punt, and that defense needs to make a stop immediately.
Tacoma now out to punt. Kick is high and almost blocked. Going to be received at about the 35-yard line. They're going to take it up to the 34. First and 10 now, and OJ Bruin and company. At this point, if you're Memphis on offense, you're kind of almost just kind of laying back, and you might go a little bit deeper into the playbook and experiment a little bit.
Yeah, at least on first down, what I will do is run anything like flashy or anything. I will just run the ball and keep the clock moving at least on first down.
Yeah. And that's exactly what they're going to do. Hand it off to Blair Jones, who gets about 2 yards on that one. Blair Jones averaging 3.4 yards per carry. Blair Jones having an absolute, just putting on a clinic out there tonight, if we're going to be real.
Yeah, and the offensive line has done a great job. I mean, the only guy that has been able to actually make stops is Sandoval on the defensive line. Other than that, the offensive line of Memphis has dominated this game.
We're going to pass out of that formation again. A bit of an odd choice, but he's going to find Blair Jones, and Blair Jones is going to gain maybe a yard.
Good job, even though it was not a big play, but he thought about throwing the ball deep, but instead, because it was not open, he checked it down to his running back. The clock keeps ticking, and Memphis keeps control of the ball. Look for the tight end here, Jack.
Yeah, going to be an empty backfield here for Memphis. Bruin going really deep on the drop, and all that pageantry for about a 2-yard gain there to Michael Hammer.
Yeah, another dangerous throw. Thankfully for Memphis, there was no guy that could have taken that all the way back for a score. The bad news is that the clock stops. The good news is that at least you got a couple more yards, and you can punt the ball to give Tacoma worse field position.
Just want to say hello to everyone who may be tuning in from the Albuquerque versus Madison game. Albuquerque able to pull out the big win over the defending champion Madison Lynx, 27-10. Albuquerque off to a great start to their second campaign.
Yeah, very good start. I mean, I like things that I saw in the previous season out of them, and going against a team as good It's the one they beat today. Madison is actually very, very impressive as the defending champs go down.
JQ, after being bailed out by his defense, can he make up for it? Gonna be a simple handoff to Brad Jones, who's gonna lose 2 yards on that run.
Yeah, I do not love the play call. I mean, you're in shotgun formation. I was expecting a pass actually out of this, but they go backwards in a 2-yard loss, and this is what has completely killed Tacoma. Just getting on those second and longs, third and longs, uh, have been terrible for them. They are 6 out of 14 on third down, so they're struggling badly enough.
Q dropping back. JQ taking another extremely risky throw. That one could have just been easily snatched up and taken the other way by number 25, Oliver Grant.
Yeah, and again, 3rd and 12. I mean, this Tacoma playbook has not looked ready to convert on third downs as they go in a trips formation. Do they have a deep throw in the playbook that can get him 12 yards?
Well, we've seen it before from Tacoma. Can we see it again? Q gonna go to the shallow route of the bunch, and that's not exactly what you want if you're Tacoma desperate for a first down catch made by Martin Fallworth.
Yeah, and the Grizzlies will have to punt this one away. It's not the time to go for it on fourth down. They have to punt it. They still have 3 timeouts and 5 minutes, 48 seconds. So they have to play some defense and get the ball back as quickly as they possibly can.
Snap is a little bit low, but the kick is away. Going to be fielded at about the 40, and they're going to take it up to the 45, 46 yard line for Memphis. And once again, if I was Memphis, I would just start handing it off to Blair Jones, just hand the ball off, gain 3 or 4 yards, and that's all you need.
Yes, yeah, you cannot risk it. You have to run the ball between the tackles, not get tackled for, out of the sideline and stopping the clock, nothing like that. Just run it up the gut between the tackles.
And instead goes for the deep throw, and he connects with Michael Hammer. That's Hammer's 5th reception on the day on his 6th target. He so far has 59 yards on the day.
Yeah, and Tacoma was actually expecting that run, I will say, because everybody was playing underneath. But Hammer goes deep for a catch and a first down, getting closer to scoring position. And, for Memphis, a field goal effectively seals this game because then it will be a 3-scoring game. So they want to get into that scoring range as quickly as they possibly could, and they are very close from doing so.
Just under 5 minutes remaining now. Gonna go over the top, and that one, an extremely risky throw, almost another interception.
Yeah, in the previous case, the receiver was wide open, so and that throw, but in this one, that was about triple covered. You cannot put the ball in harm's way like that. Second down, though, I'm expecting the head coach and the offensive coordinator to dial up a run instead.
Yeah, they're coming out in the heavy set, so I wouldn't be surprised if that was the case. Bruin, a simple handoff to Blair Jones, and it's going to be about a 2-yard run, 3rd and 8. But that keeps the clock moving, and that's really all you need.
It does. Here for Memphis, either one of two things, in my opinion. You either run the ball again, or maybe you dial up a screen pass or something that is low risk, and try to get you in scoring position for field goal range.
3rd and 9 now. Going to be just under center for O.J. Bruin. Hand it off to Blair Jones, and Blair Jones is going to get, they're going to say he didn't gain anything on that one. Going to bring up 4th and 9 for the River Runners.
Now, this is very tricky, Jack. I will actually punt this ball. You can try the field goal, but it's a 51-yarder. I think that you punt the ball and try to pin the Grizzlies deep.
Couldn't agree with you more. And well, Looks like Rain Row decided to agree with you too, Ramos, as they send out the special teams unit, and they're going to punt this one away. Snap is right where it needs to be, and the kick is off. And it's going to be fair caught at the Tacoma 10-yard line.
Great punt.
Yeah, spectacular punt, dare I say. And now for Tacoma, it's do or die time. I think this is about the third drive in a row that we've said that. But for Tacoma, it's either you get a score here or it's game over.
Yeah, and again, Memphis punt was phenomenal because now Tacoma has to go 90 yards. And this offense really has not been able to, get the top of the defense. The longest play today has been 38 yards.
Well, JQ goes over the top and he finds his man for a decent gain there. Takes up to the 24. JQ once again going into the split back formation. Q dropping back. Goes to the flat, surprisingly enough.
Ooh.
And that's going to be a loss of 3. A bit of a questionable throw there.
Yeah, very, very questionable.
2nd and 13 now. Q rolls around and he's going to get sacked for a massive loss. It's going to be 3rd and 19 now. You basically got to be whipping out the Hail Mary, and no, they're going to stay in the split back. Q going to just throw it short. Oh, no, not what you wanted to see at all.
No, not at all. And with a 4th and 14, you have to go for this one. I mean, even though you still have 3 timeouts and technically the 2-minute warning, you cannot punt this ball away. You have to go for it.
And it seems to be that Jalen Wells agrees with you, Ramos, as they are staying out 4th and 14. This is basically the ball game. JQ going to roll out, finds his man on the short route, and they're going to be nowhere near the first down as Memphis takes over at the 22-yard line.
Yeah, not the best play call right there, getting the ball very short to the outside. I mean, in those kind of situations, you just have to go deep. I mean, if it gets intercepted, it is what it is. But in this situation, you must get a first down and throw the ball deep down the field.
Now Memphis probably going to just snap the ball, hand it off to Blair Jones, take it to the 2-minute warning. And that's exactly what they're going to do. Hand it off to Blair Jones. Jones gets about a yard on the play, but that's going to bring us to the 2-minute warning, folks. Memphis could seal the deal on this very drive with just a field goal, but can Tacoma make a miracle happen and score twice within 2 minutes? Now we're on 2nd and 9. Memphis probably going to be just another handoff to Jones. They don't really have much of a reason to do anything too flashy now. Up by 2 scores, and you can put yourself up by 3 with a simple field goal. And that's exactly what they're going to do. Hand it off to Jones, and he's going to get about 4 yards as Tacoma calls their first timeout.
Yeah, you have to run the ball one more time. First down seals this game. And, there's no reason why Memphis will do anything other than running the ball here up the middle with their star running back.
Yeah, they have no real reason to. 3rd down now, about 6 yards, is going to win the game for the River Runners. And yeah, they're going to hand it off to Blair Jones. And Jones, no, they're not going to give it to him. Going to be 4th and 1, and honestly, I just see him bringing out Collier and just kicking for the win.
Yes, yeah. I mean, you will have a reason why, you will say, hey, go for it, try to get a first down, because that also seals the game. But I think the probabilities and the odds just tell you kick the field goal, go up by 17, and take it.
Yeah, I mean, either way, functionally, you win the game on this play, unless, of course, you do not convert that 4th down. But they're sending out the field goal unit. Snap is a little bit on the low end, but kick is up, and it's good. 3 more points makes it 34-17 in favor of the River Runners. You know, Ramos, at the beginning of this game, things were looking a little bit sketchy for the River Runners, but really after that, it's been firing on all cylinders for them.
Yeah, it has, and I'm surprised of their resilience and how they were able to counterattack and counter the Tacoma Grizzlies momentums. You know, they started winning the game 7-0, but then Memphis got in a run and started winning, by double digits. And then Tacoma started to play good, but Memphis just shut the door down. So very, impressive win at home to start their SFLm franchise. And, I think this is a real contender. I'm really liking what I'm seeing. Running the ball is very good. They have a very good passing defense, good run defense, and solid special teams.
Now for JQ, at this point, you're kind of just playing for pride. Split backs once again, been a fan favorite for Tacoma. Throws over the middle, and he's going to be able to get his man for a decent enough gain, taking it up to the 45. I think that was Jay Moss on the reception. Split backs once again. JQ dropping back. JQ going to go to the flats, and Brad Jones trucks a man. And he's going to gain a lot more yards than he originally bargained for. Actually, no, that was number 43 on the reception for Tacoma. Tom Rothschild, the fullback.
Yeah, and most importantly, Jack, he got out of bounds. So he broke a tackle right there, got to the first down, and immediately looked for the sideline. Goes out of bounds, stops the clock. And, Tacoma may not win this game, but, they're showing a lot of fight.
Yeah, Rothschild, for a fullback, he's been extremely good at receiving. And now JQ going to be running with just one back right next to him. Going to be another trips formation. Q, the snap's a little bit high, and he's going to be rolling out to his right once again, moving up in the pocket, and that looked almost like a shovel pass to me.
Yeah, he threw it away at the end. He had a receiver, and he was outside, so no harm there. At least, intelligent enough to throw the ball out of bounds, stop the clock again, and have 2nd and 10.
Minute 18 remaining in the ball game. Tacoma may have enough time to score a touchdown just for morale's sake. Q going under center. Empty backfield for him. Wouldn't be surprised if Brad Jones' night is through. Going to be a low throw, and he's not going to be able to get his man. That throw was intended for number 82, Mitchell Simpson, once again.
Mm-hmm. 3rd and 10. And in this situation, what I actually, try things new in your playbook. Try to see what works. Maybe, I don't know, a post corner post, a stop and go, something, like that, to see if it works for the rest of the season. Ooh.
And, well, whatever that throw is going for James, that didn't exactly work out. It's going to be 4th and 10 now. And if I were Tacoma, I would just chuck it for the end zone, really.
Yeah, I agree. 4th down and 10 at the 43. Obviously, you only need 10 yards for a score. But I agree with you in the sense where, you try something new. Try to a go route, a fade. Oh.
And that's going to be a free play, actually, for Tacoma. Going to take the few yards, and, hey, you know what? Maybe a little bit of a lifeline for that drive, as Fallworth was on that reception.
Yep, but they will have another shot. They will have a 4th and 5 here.
Still, I think, the same logic applies, just now you have less yards that you need to gain.
Yeah, I agree. That pass was very short. Could be a first down if they dial up again in time, because it's now, again, 4th and 5, but, try to go deep, try to score. Why not?
Yeah, may as well. Have a little bit under a minute left for the Grizzlies, and yeah, they're going to go completely empty backfield with a minute 06 remaining. Just chuck it for the end zone, see how many yards you can get. This JQ is going to drop back, throws it over the middle, and he finds his man! What an impeccable throw and catch there! Tacoma calling their final timeout, Chris Lee. What an amazing game that man has had.
Yeah, and again, this is a situations where okay, coaches are writing down okay, post route here in this situation can work. Good throw by JQ, and this is something that you can use for the rest of the season.
Oddly enough, they do burn a timeout on that play. As JQ, once again going into the shotgun. I'm not... it's been something that he's really liked to do this game so far. Going to be a nice deep drop back, throwing over the middle, and that was another extremely risky throw. Not something you want to do on the regular against this Memphis defense with Brian Briggs on the deflection.
Good job by the defender right there, sitting in its zone, getting in front of the receiver and just knocking it down with one hand. Good defensive play right there.
I mean, out of a linebacker, that's all you can really ask for. As it's going to be 2nd and 10, ball on the Memphis 18. Tacoma in the red zone for one of their few trips today. I'm going to go trips once again. JQ. Q throws it over to Jones, and that's going to be, I think, maybe a loss of 1 or 2. And it's going to be 3rd down and 10. They're running the hurry up. Once again, they're kind of in a situation where they're just going to experiment, have some fun, see what's going to go down. Play action, throws it over the top, tip, no good. Nearly a touchdown catch there by Ziggy Chronic. That would have been his first reception of the day as well.
Yeah, I like the play call because the defense was very, very, creeping down underneath, very shallow. So I like the call and going deep for the end zone. But a good defensive play there by Memphis, not getting fooled.
And this will probably be the last play of the game in terms of one that'll actually be competitive. Q just gonna take a nice little shotgun pass, throws it over the middle, and that's not gonna get the first down. And with that, the Memphis River Runners hold off the Tacoma Grizzlies and are now just a kneel down away from winning their first game as an SFLm team.
Yeah, congratulations. They played great. I mean, overall, Bruin 17 out of 26 for 281, 1 touchdown, no pick. So that's a QBR of 114.4. Blair Jones 29 rushing attempts, 91 yards and 2 touchdowns. Defensively, very good. Bernard Smith with 3 passes defensed. Max Knight had a sack. And overall, great football played by Memphis tonight.
Yeah, Memphis, they did what they needed to do, and hey, it notched them their first victory as an SFLm team. As the clock continues to wind down, just overall, it's been a really nice showing by the River Runners. New coaching staff, but they did hail from the Frank Gooden dynasty. As the clock hits triple zeros, the Memphis River Runners win their first game as an SFLm franchise over the Tacoma Grizzlies, 34-17, following 24 unanswered points towards the end of the first half. Just an utterly dominating performance from the River Runners once they're able to get their foot on the gas. And really, even if the scoreboard is 17 points apart, these two teams played like it was about 7 points apart.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, the stats look very, very close. Equal, the rushing yards basically equal, but Memphis was able to convert when they needed to. Tacoma, unfortunately, they couldn't sometimes get the ball past the midfield, and Memphis was able to get some big plays down the stretch. So that was basically the game. There are a lot of things that I like from Tacoma. I think they can run the ball extremely well. I think they can protect the quarterback pretty well. But, they need to have, a lot of work, especially on 3rd down. I mean, 6 out of 18 on 3rd down conversions. They need to work on that. But overall, I like a lot of stuff that I saw from both teams.
Yeah, a lot of promise from these two sides. And in the SFLm, that's what it's all about. If you can show promise, then you will most likely end up getting a spot in the big time. here in the SFL Major Leagues.
Yeah, for further stats, both teams got 13 first downs, so that was very, very close. Memphis 2 out of 2 on field goals, Tacoma 1 out of 2 on field goals. Memphis not very good on third down either, 3 out of 12, so that's 25%. And I think Tacoma needs to involve their tight end Siggy Ronick a little bit more.
Yeah, he did not have a single reception on the day, as Jason France, the tight end, gets player of the game, 150 yards receptions off just 150 yards off just 4 receptions and a touchdown. You know, Ramos, your tight end Mike Daggs would be very happy to see that.
Yeah, absolutely, and think that Memphis was able to involve in the game plan very well. He blocked really well also for Blair Jones, and when his name was called to get big passes and big catches, he was able to answer.
Yeah, but with that in mind, this has been a presentation of the SFLm on YouTube. I'm Jack Brown, and alongside Ramos Lynn, we say so long and have a great night.
Thank you.